that. That's for any game. He did all that in the first quarter, including receiving yards. He's put up 90 already and set up Green Bay on 3rd and goal. Looking on as A.J. Dillon comes in, who is back after missing last week's game against the Buccaneers. Scored the Packer touchdown in the opening quarter. Jordan Love will keep, and touchdown Green Bay.
Well, not real complicated up front. Mano a mano all along that line. Low man wins down here at the goal line. And you could see Josh Myers, the center, leading that way. Jordan Love sneaking it in there. It's a good move there, though. You know, you had the touchdown with A.J. Dillon previously. You bring him into the game, make them think you may hand that thing off. Get that quick snap. Jordan Love sneaks it in.
And the extra point is not good. He's had a bit of an issue. Some of those extra points, that snap was a little bit high. So they only get 6.
You think the holidays go by quickly? Football goes by quickly. So cherish every rush pass and rush pass turn pick six with instant withdrawals on FanDuel if you win. Because holiday football won't last forever. And soon it'll just be March.
Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Extra point. So you see the snaps a little bit high, but in the previous 6 games, Carlson has missed 11 of 14 extra points. So that's essentially, remember, it's not so easy anymore. It's essentially a 33-yard field goal, but no excuse all the way around on the Packers special teams, leaving them with a 10-point lead. But 2 lengthy drives that result in touchdowns, an 80-yarder, and then that was 79 yards for Jordan Love's 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. Blackshear from inside the 5, and Blackshear all the way up to the 40-yard line, and we get another flag.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 22. It's a 10-yard penalty, 1st down Carolina.
Yeah, Robinson with his 2nd penalty already in this game, and the special teams, that's Chris Tabor was his primary job before taking over as the interim head coach.
Yeah, and he said it's been kind of like a fire hose, you know, kind of learning all the things that you needed to do to be the head coach. And he's obviously not happy, doesn't agree with that call, but Robinson really tackled that guy, that coverage guy right in the middle of the field. That was a good call.
Set up at the 23-yard line instead of up near the 40. Trailing by 10. Hubbard works hard to get across the 25-yard line. For Jordan Love, by the way, I mentioned his 3rd rushing touchdown this season. That's the team lead. Tells you something about the running backs down near the goal line and the red zone issues you were talking about. But good enough for a 13-3 advantage.
Yeah, and what you're really seeing out of this Green Bay defense, you know, that team meeting, talk about how important it was. Again, the players say maybe a little bit more important. Coaches say not as much. Just a lot of intensity. That last play, Rashawn Gary, you know, just kind of gets that penetration, which kills run plays. These guys are playing with a lot of fire.
Young's throw incomplete. Chark was the target, and again a 3rd down. Yeah, LaFleur tried to downplay. So we usually have Monday meetings, but this is one where more people attended and more defensive players spoke up and had some things to say, including Quay Walker, who said, hey, I needed to talk, and we took responsibility. And I asked Quay, and he said, when we left, we felt better about things. So we'll see how it plays out in this game and the rest of the season. But the defense needed to do something after the embarrassment at home against the Buccaneers. Although give Baker Mayfield some credit. He's been playing good football in Tampa Bay for those Bucs, who are the division leaders at the moment of the side.
And here's Thielen in the slot, who's been the primary target on 3rd downs.
Young has time and a high throw, but this one, he hangs on. That's DJ Chark at the 45. of Carolina.
Yeah, Chark's lined up on the outside right here. Just going to work his way. And it's the anticipation. And it's just a nice throw.
And Bryce Young, who has been, he's been sacked second most times in the league, 51 times. Very flexible back here. Only 5'10" and 205.
Yeah, his legs will become a factor at some point, I'm guessing, today.
After that pickup of 19, Hubbard gets just back near the line of scrimmage. Quay Walker leads the team in tackles, nearing 100 for the year, making that stop. Again, Devondre Campbell out with a neck injury.
Well, we're going to take a look at the hit Bryce Young took on that last play. Preston Smith comes in there, and you hear about the defenders. They talk about Bryce Young. They say, yeah, he can definitely take a hit, but you don't get awards for taking hits. It's a quarterback. Like, eventually it's going to wear you down. It's nice that you can take those hits, but some of those you got to be able to avoid. And of course, some of that is on that offensive line.
Hubbard straight ahead and shoved back. We talked about the defense, and we were able to spend some time with defensive coordinator Joe Barry, looking from up in the booth. Said, look, I know what I signed up for. Take responsibility. And our defense, it's about results. We haven't gotten it done, especially the last few games.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, he was very upfront about it. When you don't play well, bad things happen. And they've kind of been playing whack-a-mole over there. If it's a communication issue here, it's bad angles on this one. It's a missed tackle there, misalignment here. But ultimately, it's your job as a defensive coordinator to figure out what those guys can do and get them to do it consistently.
On third down, the throw is right on target. We've been waiting for Adam Thielen to show up here. And it's a first down at the 33 of Green Bay.
Boy, this is a great throw from Bryce Young. Just the anticipation that he has, and he gets this ball on its way before Adam Thielen's even into that window, throwing right off of the shoulder of Quay Walker. And that's when Bryce Young is at his best. He's obviously had an up and down season.
30% of the receptions, that's what Thielen is responsible for, as Hubbard shakes loose, and he gets down around the 20 for a first down.
Bradley Bozeman, the center, is going to pull up to that second level, and that's what really allows Chuba Hubbard to get up onto the safeties. That's the first time today. That Green Bay defensive line, they've been doing a lot of stunting, moving up front, trying to confuse the blocking schemes of the Carolina Panthers. That time, Bozeman able to climb to that second level, create a big run.
Hubbard, the starter since mid-October, over 730 yards, leading the Panthers 10th in the NFC coming in. Marset to the goal line. Amir Smith-Marset has a Carolina touchdown.
Well, we talk about it. Off of every run, some sort of counter, some sort of reverse. Marset's going to work his way all the way back, but it's that run fake that gets everybody to react front side. Chuba Hubbard just comes off of a big run, and of course, Adam Thielen downfield blocking for his man. Smith-Marset's really emerged in that jet sweep game, brings it in for 6.
Pinheiro, the extra point is good. That's a 20-yard touchdown run. Picked him up in August from Kansas City. Been using him a little more since the coaching change. And the Panthers, yes, their offense gets a touchdown. It's a 3-point game. And tighten this game up. It's a 3-point difference. It'll be a touchback, and Packers playing for their playoff lives, as we mentioned. They're on the very back end of about the bubble there. We know that Dallas and Philadelphia are in. It's just a matter of who wins the division. But the Packers hope to win and have Seattle lose along the way, or maybe the Saints or the Falcons, one of those teams. Seattle is losing at the moment to Tennessee. Atlanta's tied with Indianapolis, and Minnesota's tied with Detroit. But also
Well, I was going to say, make no mistake about it, though. This Carolina team, we saw with the big win a week ago. These guys came and played, nothing to lose.
And letting it rip is Jordan Love to Romeo Dobbs. Boy, he does look comfortable these last few games, and it goes back. When you look at the season, Woods with the hit. It was in the win over the Rams and the loss to the Steelers when Matt LaFleur told us he had to finally just tell Jordan Love, and in his own mind as a play caller, let it rip. What the heck? Take that approach. We're going to take our chances. As Dillon carries. And you can see the difference in both of them. It made Jordan Love. He saw the confidence from his coach. He played more confidently, and you could see the numbers. And it was a revelation.
Yeah, it really was. And, talking about Jordan Love, he said, the guy's a natural thrower, very hard on himself, which is good. And, in talking to Jordan Love and bringing up the Aaron Rodgers aspect of it, he said, what I admired most was just how well he knew the game, how he could just bring up plays from anywhere in our playbook, just understanding what defenses are going to do, figuring out the mental part of it first.
Ball start. Offense number 63. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
But also to that point about the mental part, quarterback's just different, man. Like your quarterback has to have this mentality. It's like, what's the most important play? The most important play is always the next one. I got to have a short memory. Hey, sometimes I'm going to mess up. Sometimes I'm going to throw bigs. But you know what? More often than not, in critical situations, I'm going to help you win games.
Love has won over his coach with his resiliency. Going back to the Saints game when they rallied from 17-0 to win in the final quarter. He's on the move now. And Love will slide out of bounds around the 45 of Green Bay, bringing up a third down. Yeah, I asked Love about, a signature game this year. I said, I know you guys beat the Lions, you beat the Chiefs. And he said, well, we go back. His favorite game was being down 17-0 against New Orleans, but coming back to win that game. It showed a lot as they line up here without a huddle on 3rd and a yard.
We got Patrick Taylor in here at running back.
There's a flag down back inside the 40 of Green Bay.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 97. A 15-yard penalty. First down.
The call is on Yitzhak Gross-Matos.
That Gross-Matos right on the end of the line of scrimmage here. Well, I don't know about that call. They're normally going to give him a couple of steps, and you want to protect the quarterbacks, but that one seemed like it was pretty fair. Unless he was taking some little steps I didn't see. It didn't look like he took more than 2 steps on that one. But what you did see on that play, Jordan Love, again, the mastery of the offense and what the defense is trying to do, using that snap count, see if they're going to change the look, get them into the play that they wanted with the little slant over the middle. He just missed the throw.
A.J. Dillon inside the 35 of Carolina. Jordan Love did say that that's the one thing. Again, this is his 16th start as an NFL quarterback, even though he's had time to sit and observe in his 4th year, that he is seeing the pre-snap defense so much better. It's much more, and post-snap as well, and it's shown up in his numbers.
Well, it's really no surprise why the quarterback position is so difficult because to play well, you really have to understand not only what your guys are doing, but what the defense is doing with all that pressure. 300-pounders ready to smack you.
And will throw low. Tough for Kraft to scoop that one. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and this is also the difficult part of the position, right? I mean, you got to be able to make the layups. Yeah, I mean, you figure out what you want to do on this throw, and this is just what happens at the quarterback position. You make good play, good play, good play. You figure out where you want to go quickly, just get a little bit quick with your mechanics, but that's a throw or a catch that Kraft probably should have made.
Taylor is the back on 3rd and 7. Panthers threaten blitz. Love sees it. Signals Malik Heath to come over and pick that up. Throw incomplete. Sideline for Tucker Kraft. And it's 4th down. You'd be looking right now at a field goal. J.C. Horn was really good on that coverage. This will be in the 53-yard range. Let's see how they play this as they're bringing out Anders Carlson.
But you see them locked up here on the outside. Look at that coverage by Horn. Really anticipating where that route is going to break as well, and does a nice job not turning but still using the hands.
It will be from 53. He was hitting from 56, 58 in pregame on this side of the field. The kick is through. 16-10. Packers come back with 3 after that drive of Carolina for the touchdown.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
They've been running it more and averaging more per carry. Chuba Hubbard has been the workhorse, even though Miles Sanders got that big contract to join the team. And there is Chris Tabor, more than 3 decades in coaching. He said he was an offensive-minded coach in his earlier years, but he tried to stay away from special teams. When he got to the NFL, that's where they needed him, and he's done a nice job of holding things together for the Panthers. Young on the move, dumps it off nicely. It's Tremble, who's the leading receiver for them in the game. He gets a 1st down. Jen?
Chris, you know, Chris Tabor means so much to this Panthers squad. He came in under Matt Rule, obviously still here. Chuba Hubbard told me pregame, they're playing for him. They want him to succeed. They want him to take the most of this opportunity. Tabor's message to the team pregame. How much fun was it to play spoiler against the Falcons last weekend? Let's do it all 3 games to close out this season. He wants to be the Grinch, Chris.
Well, the spirit was there. I think Brian Burns said, Jen, that it feels good to mess up the Christmas of the Atlanta Falcons. That's what they did last week, trying to do that to the Packers. And that completion to Amir Smith-Marset, who had the touchdown on the run a moment ago.
Well, you go with empty, and of course you've only got 5 men in the protection scheme. It's just going to be a nice quick slant here. You got to know where your answers are when they bring that pressure. And Amir Smith-Marset, we saw him go on the jet sweep for the touchdown, and he's there for his quarterback on the slant, beating Jair Alexander to the inside.
Bryce Young settling down after a couple of high throws or off the mark throws. His numbers 6 out of 12. He's over 100 yards. Picked up 18 there. Sanders is in it back. Miles Sanders can't break through, but he gets inside the 45 of Green Bay. Extra pushing and shoving going on down it. It was last Christmas Eve. We talked about how the weather was different. It was so cold, but that's when the Panthers came out, ran for over 300 yards, shocked the Lions, pretty much crushed Detroit's playoff hopes. Of course, they went on to beat Green Bay in that final game, but did not make the playoffs. And that's something, along with what Chris Tabor was talking about, what they did at least against Atlanta, contender last week, what they do today.
Yeah, if you're a Panthers fan at home, you're like, yeah, this is great. You know, you can play spoiler again on Christmas Eve, right? Like, they want to see their organization take that next step, but you have to be impressed with the way they're playing so far.
Moving people around, Young will keep, and short of the 1st down. So it'll be 3rd and short. Keyshawn Nixon eventually brought him down, kept him from just that extra yard or so.
We talked about the legs of Bryce Young being a difference. It isn't necessarily design runs, but just his ability to escape the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, buy a little bit of time, is just so difficult on a defense, particularly when they're playing man-to-man and they have got their backs to Bryce Young, and he takes off the way that he does. I mean, he's got a basketball background, and you can see that the way that he moves. He just kind of slithers up there.
He actually needs 2 for the 1st, and Chuba Hubbard cannot get a big stop by the Packers up front, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, it's 4th down, but why not go for it here, right? Don't see anybody. Tabor's not. Yep. You see Tabor sending Adam Thielen onto the field. You've got absolutely nothing to lose, so you go for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, they've gone for it. This will be the 39th time this year Converted 17. It's about 45%. Chuba Hubbard will not get the first down. He'll lose yardage as soon as he got the football. The Packers were there, shoving him back.
And it's number 55, Kingsley Enagbari, coming off of the edge. Anticipation, able to make the play from the backside.
Enagbari from South Carolina, second-year player with the
Vehicle quality.
Just over 4 minutes before the half, and a big defensive play for the Packers, who have been under pressure defensively. Jordan Love on the move, airing it out, and just kind of couldn't find anybody. Let's look at that fourth down stop.
Yeah, and you're going to see Kingsley Enagbari lined up here on the outside, Isaiah McDuffie, but this is Taylor Moton at that right tackle spot. He's got to turn out on Enagbari, just lets him run free there. And he's able to get that one from the backside. McDuffie's able to get it from the front side. So great job again from this Packers defense, much maligned, we know, on the season, but exactly where they needed to be to stop that fourth down.
Panther defense forces an incompletion. Pressure picked up on 2nd and 10 on the pass on target at midfield. Bo Melton, he's run, he's caught. It's his second grab of the game.
Boy, and even with the pressure in his face on that one, it was Yetur Gross-Matos applying the pressure to Jordan Love on that one. You just love to see that from your quarterbacks. You watch him, he doesn't flinch at all here. Even with the pressure in his face, he knows he's going to get hit. The great ones make that look so easy, but it's unsettling for a lot of quarterbacks.
Jones, who got up the opening quarter, gets the first down.
And I'm by no means saying that he's a great one yet. Following up with one that's already in the Hall of Fame and one that'll be in the Hall of Fame at some point when he decides to retire.
Yeah, well, just like you can't with Bryce Young on the other sideline in his first year, it's tough to say, oh, a #1 pick, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. You got to look at what's around him and how he's developed. It's too early to judge.
Yeah, we'll have a graphic on that later. Some first-year quarterbacks and what they did in their first year of starting.